Ooh. Uh-oh. Ta-da! Hello, artist friends! I have been looking forward to demonstrating and reviewing this set of 12 Arteza Watercolor Brush Markers for the last couple of weeks. The set contains 12 markers with brush tips and clear caps that make it easy to select the desired color. Their design is straightforward, with each marker sporting a colored rear cap, clear branding, standard color names, and alpha codes printed on the barrels. The brush tips appear to be slightly longer than I have seen before and seem to be even more flexible, like synthetic hairs rather than nylon. Unfortunately, the set was dried up right out of the package and could barely even create these color swatches for reference. The colors themselves look good, with clear differences between them, and only the neon pink seemed oddly named, as it looked more like a peach to me. The chocolate marker was the worst offender, as its cap does not fit tightly, and it is by far the most dried up marker in the set. Out of frustration at having the markers dried up right out of the package, I threw them away. But a few minutes later, I realized they are watercolor and could potentially be reactivated with water, so I dug them back out. In an effort to get the markers to work, I fought to pop off the back of one marker, which was very difficult, and added a few drops of water, which did not seem to have any effect. However, I enlisted the aid of my wife Rita, and she helped me to film the process of completely disassembling some of the pens to add water directly to the ink reservoir. During this process, I discovered that my prior attempt had missed the reservoir and simply left water standing in the barrel. With 10 drops of water added to every marker, I used them to create circular swatches, working toward 3D spheres, as I have done in other reviews of watercolor brush markers. Unfortunately, the brushes still act like they are dried out, but are not quite as bad as before. This time around, I was able to create the spheres, and you will notice that this rough, dry brushing leaves splotchy marks on the paper, and some of the colors do not blend with water as nicely as I might like, leaving the hatch marks visible in the painted spheres. Pulling the orange brush apart again after this, I noticed that the previous addition of water had diluted or caused about 1/3 of the ink to flow through the reservoir. Adding another 10 drops of water to the reservoir caused the brush to become very juicy again, and I suspect that this will have to be done at every painting session. Another thing to point out is that the brushes are not meant to be refilled or taken apart this way, and it is very easy to damage the brush tips by handling them in this manner. After all of this, I have decided to spare myself any further headaches and will not be attempting to create a painting with these markers. They are going back in the trash. I am giving Arteza a 0 out of 10 for shipping dried out products and subtracting another 1 out of 10 for the hassle of making the markers work long enough to write this review, for a final score of -1 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. My next several videos will include fantasy art demonstrations and reviews of watercolor paints, starting with dry pans and moving on to liquid watercolors. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Embark on a coloring journey like never before with Fantasy Coloring Book Number 1, A Coloring Adventure. Immerse yourself in the magical world of 32 intricately designed pages, each a masterpiece waiting for your personal touch. Whether you're a seasoned artist or just discovering the joy of coloring, Fantasy Coloring Book Number 1 is the perfect canvas for your creativity. Let your imagination soar as you add your personal flair to these enchanting illustrations. Order yours today and unlock the door to a world of fantasy, one page at a time. Discover a world where art comes alive at ericperkinsart.etsy.com, your destination for original art, digital downloads, and more. Dive into a gallery filled with the imagination and talent of artist Eric Perkins. From breathtaking originals to digital downloads that spark creativity, there's something for every fantasy art lover. If you're looking for instant inspiration, our digital downloads are just a click away. Elevate your projects with high-quality downloadable art that reflects your style and vision. Visit ericperkinsart.etsy.com today. Join me on Patreon, where you will gain access to full-size, high-resolution image downloads, a special look behind the scenes of my projects, regular updates, monthly fantasy coloring pages, and more. Patreon.com/ericperkinsartist.